Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the new way. You know that.
Good morning. Inflation high in the near term. Food, non-alcoholic beverages all up 12.7%. Bella's mom sentenced to 3 years in prison. And what happened at the passport office? 19 passports temporarily misplaced. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, August 1st, 2023. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Duquesne Dean will be joining us. Also this morning, it's World Breastfeeding Week. We'll be talking about breastfeeding and the events being held here to mark that occasion. And later in business, our part two of our special series with RF Bank and Trust and Margin Loans. More on that special educational series this morning. That's coming from business. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, inflation anticipated to remain high in the near term, and that's according to Central Bank Governor John Roll. He noted yesterday that uncertainty in international energy prices and supply chain shortages related to geopolitical tensions in Eastern Europe still pose risks. Roll providing his latest economic and financial developments update to the media yesterday, saying that the highest levels of inflation observed in the Bahamas occurred post-October 2022, and that some of the more recent data that was put out by the Bahamas National Statistical Institute on a 12-month basis did begin to see some reduction. He says the point that they're trying to stress is that the timing is delayed because the adjustment that they're seeing in electricity and related costs are much later than those adjustments that took place in other countries. The mother who failed to protect her 4-year-old daughter from her abusive boyfriend, jailed for 3 years. Astanya Walker, the mother of Diana Bella Walker, received the sentence for the role she played in her daughter's November 4th, 2021 murder. Bella was beaten to death by Walker's live-in boyfriend, Darian Smith, while her mother was at work. Investigations revealed that the daughter was mistreated by Walker and Smith in the months before her death, leaving police to charge Smith with murder and Walker with child cruelty and exposing a child to grievous harm. Smith pleaded guilty to Bella's murder on January 16th and was sentenced to 25 years as part of a plea deal. Walker also pleaded guilty. However, the prosecution and defense could not agree on a sentencing recommendation. Consequently, the decision was left to Justice Renee McKay. Walker received concurrent sentences of 3 years and 2 years for child cruelty and exposing a child to grievous harm. The time she spent on remand will be deducted from the sentence. Probation report revealing that Walker's parents abandoned her as an infant and she lived with her guardian until she turned 10. At that age, Walker was returned to a mother and was later sent to live with her other relatives until she turned 17. She dropped out of school when she became a teenage mom. She decided to further education as an adult and was enrolled in the law program at the University of the Bahamas at the time of Bella's death. The probation officer said most people whom she interviewed said that Walker deserved a second chance as a victim of domestic abuse. However, Walker's twin sister and paternal grandmother said she deserved the full brunt of the law. And the Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirming that 19 passports thought to be missing from the passport office were later discovered inside the building. In a statement, the ministry said the occurrence was treated with the gravity it deserves, given the importance and sensitivity of the documents. It said that all 19 passports were found inside the building and were never removed. The ministry statement coming after the National Guardian raised the issue yesterday. Reportedly, police were called to the passport office last week over concerns that the 19 passports were missing. The ministry said it is committed to protecting the security and integrity of passports. And opposition leader Michael Pintard decrying the government's decision to ignore the pleas of women's groups to hold off on debate on the Protection Against Violence Bill 2023 and allow more extensive consultations. He said the opposition is concerned about the fact that this particular bill is being pushed in place of the gender-based violence bill without adequate input from stakeholders. He accused the government of bullying the bill through Parliament. On Wednesday night, various women's groups and human rights advocates and experts released a statement appealing to the government to hold off on the Protection Against Violence bill debate. The bill, according to those women's groups, is not the bill that women's rights groups worked on for more than a decade. Overseas, the crisis in Niger deepening. France preparing to evacuate French and European nationals from Niger today, telling them to carry no more than a small bag after military coup there won the backing from 3 other West African nations ruled by mutinous soldiers. The French Foreign Ministry in Paris cited recent violence that targeted the French embassy in the capital as one of the reasons for the decision. The closure of Niger's airspace also, according to the ministry, quote, leaves our compatriots unable to leave the country by their own means. The evacuation comes amid a deepening crisis sparked by the coup last week against Niger's democratically elected president, Mohamed Bazoum. The evacuation was starting today for French and European citizens who wish to leave. The ministry giving no other details. It estimates that several hundred French citizens are in Niger at the moment. In hotels in the capital, French and other European citizens, including some who have worked in the country for years, packed their bags, awaiting news of where and when the evacuation would happen. In sports, for the first time ever, the Bahamas has 3 players from the NBA committed to making a run at major international qualification, possibly reaching as high as the Olympics in 2024. Phoenix Suns center DeAndre Ayton has pledged his commitment to play for the Bahamas in a 24 Olympics push, joining Giovanna Buddy Hield and Kai Jones, who've been part of the process for a couple years now. The FIBA, the International Basketball Federation Olympic pre-qualifying tournaments, will be held from August 12th through 20th for 40 teams from Africa, the Americas, Asia, and Europe. They will all battle for spots for the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris The tournaments will feature 28 nations that competed in the second round of the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023 qualifiers but failed to qualify for this year's World Cup, as well as the highest-ranked national teams that did not qualify for the second round of the FIBA Basketball World 2023 qualifiers. Read more about this in today's Guardian Sports section. Bahamian Olympic swimmer and one of the best the Bahamas has ever seen, calling it a day as it relates to his participation in international competition. Isaac Bastien has officially retired, making the announcement in a press statement. The 22-year-old graduated with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in athletics training with pre-physical therapy from Florida State University in 2022, currently pursuing a doctorate degree in physical therapy at Florida Gulf Coast University in Fort Myers. You can read his statement in today's Guardian Sports section. And Bahamian Women's College basketball coach Yolette Coach Yo McPhee-McEwen again in the spotlight. The person in charge of the University of Mississippi Ole Miss Lady Rebels basketball program is the recipient of the Toastmasters International 2023 Golden Gavel Award. The Lady Rebels have returned to national prominence under McPhee-McEwen's leadership, advancing to the NCAA Division I women's basketball tournament in back-to-back years. It's the first time they accomplished that feat in 18 years. Read more about it again in today's Guardian Sports section. And from Women's World Cup Soccer, a goalpost saved the United States from elimination. Ana Capeta nearly scoring for Portugal in stoppage time, but her shot hit the left post, and the United States escaped with an uninspiring 0-0 draw Tuesday that got them through just barely to the knockout round. The U.S. won only one game in group play for the first time in tournament history, scoring just 4 goals over 3 games. With the scoreless draw, the United States fell to second in the group behind the Netherlands and will head to Melbourne, Australia for a round of 16 match on Sunday. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Nescafe Coffee. Here's what's happening. You've got a mid to upper level trough near the northwest Bahamas. That's going to support some shower activity over the northwestern islands, while high pressure at the surface is generating gentle to fresh breezes. Boaters should be alert for waterspout activity. And again, everybody's being advised to limit outdoor activities and to remain hydrated due to heat indices expected in the triple digits. For the northwest Bahamas today, variably cloudy and hot. Scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms, mainly over the extreme northwestern islands through tonight. Some showers could become heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Winds south-southeast to south-southwest at 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times. Seas 1 to 3 feet. For the central and southeast Bahamas today, mostly sunny and hot with a chance of a few isolated showers or thunderstorms, becoming fair and warm tonight with a chance of showers. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. Currently in Nassau, it's about 83 degrees. We've got showers in some parts of New Providence. We're looking at highs getting up to around 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius today. But the heat index will make it feel like it's 104 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to a warm 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. Your first look at weather brought to you by Nescafe Coffee. Elevate your coffee experience with Nescafe Gold.
Introducing Wendy's new Chimichurri Cheeseburger. Chimichurri. That's how you pronounce it. Let it roll off your tongue. Then get ready for some ridiculously good flavor. Fresh, herby, garlicky, green, chimichurri. It'll feel like a relaxing backyard get-together with friends on a Sunday. Put in a burger. Come meet Wendy's new Chimichurri Cheeseburger with our new Dave's Craft Lemonade. Wendy's, different inside and out.
My business couldn't survive without my credit card machine from Fidelity.
It's fast, convenient, and my clients love it.
My sales increase, and I can track my earnings.
Get your credit card machine from Fidelity today.
Call 356-7764.
A lot of folks are wondering, what is the Agrarian Awards? It's an award show to celebrate the people who produce the food that feeds the country. So September 16th, we're giving out trophies and money to young farmers, backyard farmers, sheep runners, goat herders, pea pickers, onion planters, basically everyone. But we couldn't fit all that on the invite, so we put Agrarian Awards instead. Go to adobahamas.org to find out how to nominate your favorite agrarian. The Agrarian Awards, September 16th.
Doctors Hospital has reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. We understand that your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new modern primary care facilities are where critical true personalized treatment begins. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshosp.com.
All beauty enthusiasts. Perfect Tone, your go-to destination for restorative skincare, is on the move. Famous for flawless results within 30 days, Perfect Tone is relocating to the shops of Southwest Carmichael Road. Now is the time to get the skin you've always dreamed of, removing dark spots, acne, and oily textured skin for good. For more information and updates, follow us on social media or visit our website at ptskincare.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the way. Wake up, new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-479. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Duke Quesadine. Duke, good morning.
Good morning.
Great to have you with us as always.
So happy.
It's
My
a
alarm
pleasure.
went off this morning. I pitched up.
Oh, boy. Look at that. Well, when you start waking up before the alarm.
Yes,
And
yes.
then you know.
I hate
Oh,
alarms,
boy.
by the way.
Oh, yeah? If it weren't for that.
For sure. Happy
We wouldn't have
Tuesday.
a show here ever. But yeah, the first day of the month.
Yeah. Happy August.
Happy
yeah.
August.
This year is just
It's
flying
done.
by.
It's done. Christmas decorations will
I'm
be up
telling you,
any
in no
minute now.
time.
Yeah,
We go
it's-
straight to Christmas.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's scary. Very scary. But we were talking with this off air, asking if your power went off last night. You were one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, it didn't. It
Yeah.
didn't even blink.
Wow. Because I don't know how widespread it was, but it seemed to be various parts of the island, the extremes, east, west, south, but not everybody was off. But ranging from a minute to some people saying an hour. And will we ever know what happened? I don't know.
No. But I do know a friend who went off twice yesterday. At one point for 2 hours, she said, and later in the day for 4 hours.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This is really...
That's some pressure for BPL. Yeah. they're under
Okay,
tremendous
sure.
pressure.
But also for their customers who are
I mean,
paying.
it's torture for us.
Yes, exactly. It's just very, very scary.
Yeah.
But anyway. And then what's been happening over the past week, it's not been encouraging and not been confidence.
Well, that's a lot. A lot.
Yeah.
Agree.
But
But
today...
these are like 30 to 40-year problems. I mean, for the vast majority of my life, we've been having a lot of conversations about, the instability of the electricity supply. And I think that one of the things that we can improve on overall is the maintenance of infrastructure and equipment and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Needed, not just for BPL, but for in
Absolutely.
every area that falls under government responsibility.
Yeah, definitely. Other than our interview with Kyle Wilson yesterday, thing in the paper today, no shocking revelations about, things collapsing or...
The small mercies we celebrate.
Right. If you flip a switch, how,
no.
they'll sink into the ground, and so we can't...
It's scary.
Yeah,
it's
none of that
scary
today.
to realize how just one small little incident could just pitch us into complete chaos.
Right.
That's scary.
We are on
But
the edge.
we are a praying nation, so we're going to pray.
You better be.
Yes.
Better be. Wow. Anyway, so we won't be talking about that today. What we will be talking about, it's World Breastfeeding Week. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know.
Okay.
No.
And the Bahamas is very big in advocating breastfeeding, and we're going to be talking with some advocates this morning, and they've got a lot of events planned for the week.
Okay,
so
great.
we'll get the details. In
Great.
fact, I think today is a big day. So we'll get the details. Then later in business, we're talking with RF Bank and Trust. It's part 2 of our special series on margin loans. We're going to pick that up today. And again, that wraps up on Thursday. So that's all straight ahead. But let's begin with what else is in the news. And in the news, the big headline, inflation high in the near term. Food, non-alcoholic beverages, those are all up 12.7%. You don't need to be an economist or a central banker to know that that is the case. Things are unbelievably high. And you can see when you buy products, especially the ones you don't buy too often, but when you compare the price on it to the one that you have that's about to be thrown away, I'm like, when did that jump up that much?
Absolutely. I went to the grocery store this weekend, past, and I spent $200, and I was trying to figure out, what did I purchase?
One bag, right?
I am telling you, so that food cost is insane.
Yeah, it's very disturbing. There's a lot of information in there today. Let's look at some of the highlights really quickly. The average domestic consumer price inflation as measured by the All Bahamas Retail Price Index firmed up to 5.6% during the 12 months to April. There's a lot of technical language here. From 3.8%. All right, so that translates into these costs going up. Transport going as 8.9%. Clothing wear 3.5%. Alcohol, beverages, tobacco, narcotics 3.4%. Communication 3.2%. What does that mean? Is that like what? Yeah, what?
I don't know, maybe your
Data? What?
data and
Minutes?
and
Really?
yeah, maybe
Buying
television is communication.
Maybe.
I don't know.
public relations
very
officer.
broad, yeah.
I don't, they're charging you more to write a press release. I don't know. Okay. Non-alcoholic beverages 12.7%. Restaurant and hotels 11.1%.
Wow.
Plus is what? Gratuity and VAT on top of that, right? Health 5.0%. Housing, water, gas, electricity, and other fuels 4.5%.
Everything is increasing. Everything is increasing. And how do you plan for the increases?
Especially when it increase.
That's it. And you barely managing with what you have, right?
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah. It's
But
scary.
what could you do?
Yeah.
You know, last week when we were in the newspaper, I did see one of the grocers say that they're starting to change out their products because of the high costs that the regular brands that we,
right. Yep.
you know, that we're accustomed
Oh,
to.
yes. You see that all over the stores.
Yeah,
Names
so
you
the
never heard of
brands that-
before.
Yes, and you know, that's, I guess, one way of trying to control the pricing, but the
Some of us
inflation-
like those brands.
I like my, you know, regular
Right,
brands,
right,
but
right.
I don't want to pay
That's
I
right.
really don't want to pay the huge increases on some
Yeah.
of those products as well. And
And-
it's global.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
if you just pay attention, you'd notice that globally,
Yeah, absolutely.
know?
And I know we said we weren't going to talk much more about BPL, but right, electricity rates are up for everybody, including commercial entities, and of course they are going to have to pass on. They probably will pass on those costs
To the
to us.
consumer, correct.
So expect even more increases. I
Correct.
suspect. Right?
yeah.
So, wow. Yeah, if you want to talk about it, give us a call. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. You can tweet us, Facebook us, or text us, 422-4796. Remember, standard text rates apply. All right. Let's get to your messages here. We want to get to some other stories, but we'll take their calls and your messages. This person said, simply governor's... Oh, that's not for us. I don't know what that is. What is that? All right. This one says here, what's wrong with BPL in North and Central Angeles? We are load shedding for the past week. Well, I mean, I don't know. North Angeles might be still recovering from the fire.
The fire,
and,
yeah.
So possibly that. Now Central, okay, well, that's... but I'm sure... or worse, they're having an issue. Might not be load shedding. But
Well, I mean, you know, they said that it's not always load shedding,
Right.
so there may be maintenance and other issues
Exactly.
happening. But what I guess what I'm hearing a lot is that people are just really frustrated with whatever the problems are, and want more and better solutions.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's torturous being in the heat.
Right? Right? Man. Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning, Dwight. Yes.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
I don't know. Sometimes, you know, they say NASA is not a real place. I wake up every morning. I don't know if you guys saw the movie Minions. I think they had an arch nemesis called Evil Corp. And you spoke about the different brands in the supermarket. And it's like we're slowly transitioning into like some type of parallel world because we're in the top 10 GDP in the Western Hemisphere, one of the richest countries in the world. But yet we're slowly being reduced down to below third world status. And simply not because of just being on top of the brand name. I mean, these things are having deleterious effects on our health and our mental health. I think a study was released a few years ago, 38% of Bahamian females have some type of breast cancer, which is directly linked to nutrition. So what would that figure be in about maybe 20 or 30 years when we turn around? You know? And this is only simply because we are descendants of slaves who pretty much have the genes to fight off these type of foods that aren't any benefit to our health. So the point of all of this is, I don't blame the government. I don't blame these corporations. I don't blame corporate greed or anything. I blame us because, you know, we know all of this information, and yet we're still treading and going towards our own doom. We could always flip the switch and choose a better life. So why wouldn't the major grocery chains bring in the generic stuff at our cost? It's still the same price. Hellman's is still the same price as, I don't know what the off-brand of mayonnaise is, but we could taste the cancer in the mayonnaise, and it's like we're not doing anything about it. We're not getting smart as a nation, Dwight. I think we just need to smarten up. And,
I mean, not necessarily just because it's a generic brand or a brand that you're not familiar with, won't it meet the same standards? Now, that's how it tastes might be a different story, but it's not necessarily going to be bad for you, right?
Well, Dwight, okay, so we could, it's like splitting hairs right now. Like I said, we could wait 20 or 30 years, and when the effects happen, but we all know in our heart of hearts that that we even look at the ingredients, and pretty much not even only in the grocery store, straight down the line, where we're getting the worst of power generation, we're getting the worst of roads. I was going home yesterday on Bay Street. I saw this brand new Suzuki Jeep. The axle broke off the car.
Wow.
I mean, it completely broke off the rotor for the brake, and there was a tow truck taking it. Who's going to pay for that? I mean, when are we going to take responsibility that this is our fault? We're not putting the pressure to the powers that be, and we're just letting everything move along. We're not evolving in the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate your call.
Yeah.
I hear the frustration. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow.
The accountability factor for certain can raise, I understand, some of his suggestions and comments, but nutrition definitely is at the cost of many diseases, not just cancer, nutritional deficiencies. And at the end of the day, you have to choose between the devil and his brother. When
Identical twin.
I mean, there are so many things to consider, because if you're making minimum wage, it's difficult for you to eat a truly organic menu, get food products because of the restrictions that you have with your other responsibilities.
Right.
So I think there are a lot of things wrapped up in what he is saying is not so black and white. There are things that we can do, definitely. Do need to apply more pressure with the government, do need to put even more pressure for the quality of products that, but there's a lot of things wrapped in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
And we've talked about it a lot on the show. Stephen mentions it all the time. It's time for the lawyers in the country and citizens it's going to cost a lot of money up front initially, but we need to become more litigious against the government here. I know, yes, taxpayers have to pay this, but their attitudes will begin to change. And if we can change some legislation, they won't agree to it. But to sometimes for the individuals to be accountable as well, not just the government will pay for it, but the director, maybe you should, and the whatever, whoever was in charge should pay for this, because this is clear negligence.
Correct.
Especially that car situation. I'm telling you, if a left turn
Correct.
person hits me, I'm suing the government. I'm telling you. That person, I'll take their car, and I'm suing the government, because this was botched from the beginning, and the roads are terrible. If I hit a pothole, and I'm suing the government.
But people are fixing their own blown tires and broken cars.
No.
But the courage that's required to do what you're suggesting, because we live in such a small country, and there could be, repercussions and blacklisting and all sorts of things, but we have to be willing to stand up in spite of that for the change that we want to see.
They'll never
happen,
learn.
right?
They won't ever stop doing what they're doing.
A lot of people fear that we're so small and everybody knows everyone and who will block whoever. But if we keep that mindset, then definitely people won't rise up and agitate and do some of the suing and all this sort of stuff to bring more accountability and give more responsibility, because hit them where it really hurts.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Couldn't name the minister at it. They need to pay. Anyway, some more of your text messages. This person says here, Dwight, this BPL situation is really depressing. I'm trying my best as a father and trying to keep my kids comfortable, but these bills are insane. It's hard out here, bro. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
It is.
Did you read the Washington Post report on immigration corruption in the Bahamas? Could you point out one lie in that investigative report? Did you get to see it, DeQuesta? I'll send it to you. It's very, very long.
Okay, please send it.
Very lengthy. I mean, what is this? Is a book. But they went They went in depth. They talked to a lot of people.
Wow.
The international media can get Bahamians to talk to them who won't come and talk to local
locals,
media.
right.
And I have some theories on why that is. But
I
it's
don't
quite
think
interesting.
we should be surprised at the level of corruption.
Yeah, there was no surprises there.
Yeah.
But they weren't afraid to call names. And often, like you said, the place is so small. Sometimes we dance around issues because you do have to face that person.
Yeah.
The person is
And their family.
related to your boss. That
Correct.
person is your boss. That
Correct.
person is your cousin. That person, right?
So sometimes you
Yeah.
feel like your hand is tied.
Yeah.
You know?
Ooh, in reference to what that guy said, if our government was really concerned about the health of people, they would make sure that the food that is good for us is cheaper in the stores. Well, I mean, that's really tricky, right? Because that type of food often is definitely more expensive,
It is expensive.
than the regular products.
And the best food is usually the more perishable
Right.
items.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The shortest
so,
shelf life,
yeah.
and so it's going to be
Correct.
costlier. So that would mean they'd have to subsidize, and that would be you're going to be paying for that somewhere
More,
else.
correct.
Right.
Yeah.
But I hear you. That would be nice. It would be wonderful.
It would be nice if we could grow some of those stuff, but it's not so easy. I've been trying that gardening thing. Some of my crop is okay, and others of it just doesn't work.
What's
you
the stuff
know?
that's working?
So I get good tomatoes.
Oh,
I
okay.
love the tomatoes. So just going outside and pick them. I get onion as well,
Ah.
but my sweet peppers just won't grow. Oh,
really?
Yeah. So and the lettuce is temperamental.
Yeah. Is it
and
not
of
too
course
hot?
it's season. Yeah, it's too
Yeah.
hot right now for lettuce, but it's also so it's seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not so simple as hey, just start a garden in your
Right.
backyard because it takes time and effort. However, it's possible for us to start making efforts to
Yeah.
go in that direction.
Well, that's what the health people say, right?
Yeah.
Only eat something that's in season.
Yeah.
And so you might not be able to eat lettuce year round.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, from here. Caller, let's hear what you have to say. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Ms. Dean.
Yes,
Yes,
good
to
morning.
Pasadena.
Yes, this is Alan Johnson.
Good morning.
Dwight, just first let me just speak on your food item, right? Oftentimes I hear us talk about food security, right? But it's contextually we need to talk about both food security and food sovereignty, and talk about growing those things that Ms. Dean spoke about. But just look at your grocery list and decide if that's what you can grow. And 99.9% of the people cannot grow their grocery list. However, there's a strategy for food security, and then there's another one for food sovereignty. And we often conflate and convolute the conversation on both. But we've talked about at least for 2 decades, and no government has brought any type of real strategy. It's hit and miss every 5 years concerning what it is. Food security is being able to feed your people for a certain amount of time in the case of emergency. And food sovereignty has been able to produce many of those things that you depend on for that strategy. But what also happens is that our food demographics and where we actually live doesn't exist in the sense if you walk down the grocery aisle to what our consumption is. So the problem is our aversion to technology. We keep hearing about crown land for farming and all these different things. But when we start talking about this global warming and climate change and all the different things that affects agriculture, we're not having a conversation in context of technology. We only need to look to Israel and other countries that has revolutionized technology to grow food anytime, anywhere, in such a capacity. And we are smaller than those nations.
Okay.
And this is my point.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
But, Dwight, just let me say on the energy. Hello?
Really quickly.
Very quickly on the energy. This government has failed to bring a strategy for economic development and empowerment. They brought this Armageddon on us called BPL. And even to date, unless we, in the 21st century, right, and Ms. Dean, 96% of technology depends on energy. The economy depends on energy and technology. And so unless we actually make a demand from government of patching this, let's not pretend that BPL is what it is. BPL is an archaic, antiquated, obsolete system of energy delivery on New Providence. We need, in the most urgency, to have a conversation on economic development that incorporates itself around the energy crisis we are facing in our country. The world has faced crisis up and down in energy. We face it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 40 years. And this is year number 50. It's time for us to end and force government to have a real conversation, Dwight, on this, because there's no other conversation you could have on anything, anywhere in this country, that energy is not married to it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's take another call before we have to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Morning. How are you?
Doing well.
Good. I have a remedy. What I started in my yard. I plant the trees that don't require much of my time. And the Bahamians, if we plant the trees or the fruit trees that are popular in this country, we could bring the price down on those particular things, like pears, mangoes, guavas, canap, sugar cane, sugar apples. They're the trees I have in my yard. And I don't have to buy them at all during the year, and bananas and plantains. I don't buy them no more because I produce enough to even sell one or two bunches every now and then. So Bahamians need to understand, plant something that don't take much of your time, and if we ever get a glut on the market of it, then the price of that will drop.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. I mean, I think most of those that you mentioned, do you buy those? I mean, those are people...
People do buy them.
Yeah?
Yeah, they do
I mean,
buy
out
them.
of season, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, people have so many, they're giving them to you.
Certain products, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, certain of
I mean,
them.
people go around... I guess.
Yeah,
but,
you'll see them selling the native avocado, like
I mean,
on the
right,
that's
that's
like
different.
that.
But I mean, you wouldn't
yeah.
need to go to the supermarket for those things.
Correct, not the native ones.
Yeah. And I think that's happening. It might not be enough to fill a supermarket, and again, it will only be for a couple of months.
But the avocado trees are laden with fruit this year. If you drive around and you see them, they're
Looking
really
forward to
laden.
that.
Me too.
Right, but I wouldn't go to the supermarket to buy one of those.
Yeah,
definitely not. And when you do, out of season, buy the other ones. Like, what is this?
The other ones.
What is that?
Ones, yeah.
Like,
but they're so good.
I will only eat the native ones for 2 months of the year, and then I just won't eat it.
Are you serious?
Pretty much.
No, avocados are a great source of.
I know, but I mean the other ones from the other parts of the world that were shipped here, and God knows what. It's like, what is that?
I eat them.
In a pinch.
Yeah, you have to substitute, because you can't store them, you can't really freeze them to eat.
Have no
like
taste.
you have to make smoothies or stuff if you freeze them or whatever. But the native trees may fare better with our weather, with this suggestion.
Better.
Yeah,
way better.
Yeah.
We'll take this call. We got to go to the break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. Good morning, DeQuesta.
Good morning.
Very interesting conversation this morning. 2 points here. I believe that in most cases, and I followed my family in Long Island in particular, that was very good with husbandry as well as with also vegetables and stuff. Some time ago, if you would recall, a few years ago, we had an abundance of onions that grew in our family island, in one of the family islands, and because they couldn't get them all to market, someone did a video showing that they were rotting in a whole big mountain. Wow. And so when it's like that, you have to often wonder, these farmers are already hard-pressed to find monies to do crops and stuff. And I've heard many of them cry out, asking for subsidies and assistance in trying to keep their farms going and everything. But yet, it seems as if the cries fell on deaf ears per se. I would just say, basically, I think the encouragement of persons doing backyard farming, because like you so rightfully said, DeQuesta, I think, these things are in abundance here in the Bahamas. I do recall a time when each island actually focused on mostly a particular vegetable product, and if we were able to feed ourselves to a great level. But if you have the importation of these same products coming in, and they're being put front and center, and the Bahamian product seems to be pushed in the back, then unfortunately we're not going to get persons here who really want to get back into farming, seeing that their product is going to waste. They're not going to get back into it. That's something that we really seriously have to look at, because a country that cannot feed itself we're already almost a failure, and we have to fix that problem. My last commentary beyond BPL. There is, if I recall correctly, Dwight, and you can correct me on this. BPL, or according to the policies, would only allow you to power up so much of your dwelling with alternative energy, and BPL is still. It is a must that BPL be connected to your house. Now they use the auspices that in case your alternative energy fails, or your generator fails, then you have no power to your house. That shouldn't come before them. You really seriously want to give them the help they need. Persons who could afford to put their entire houses on solar or wind or whatever, allow those persons to do so. I mean, yes, the BPL will lose some revenue, but at least it takes the load off the grid to feed to feed into other people's grid who may not afford to be able to do solar panels or wind or thermodynamic or whatever. These are just some of the things that we have to look at in order to push the Bahamas forward to another level. But they're my two comments for this morning, and I look forward to other commentary coming in from other persons who may share similar views.
Thanks a lot.
for taking my call.
Appreciate it. Well, again, I don't know the percentage, but I believe it can really be a minuscule amount, right? So we had a texter last week who said that their bill before this fuel surcharge increase, they were paying, because they're mostly solar, their bills were like $5 a month. $5 a month.
Minimum
so
amount.
I mean, you really just need one little tiny
Yeah.
connection, so it can be that small. Now, that person did say that with the fuel surcharge, their bill jumped from $5 to triple digits, which is madness.
Insanity,
right?
Insanity, because you get solar to reduce your
Yeah.
bill, and fuel charge.
I was turning that off.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, but yeah. So it doesn't have to be right. Just one little thing.
A little, like 1%.
It seems. All right. So when we come back, already getting reaction to it. The sentencing for Bella. You remember Bella?
Mhm.
Bella's mom. And this very interesting story in the paper today. We'll get to that after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
When my world shakes, I don't play safe. Don't you know about me? I could dance, I could dance, I could dance. Even when the tears are flowing, like diamonds on my face, I still keep the party going, not one hair out of place.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Time for your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Get in gear with an RBC auto loan in your real-time traffic. Not looking so bad out there so far. We've got Mile Butler Highway just north of Harold Pond. You'll see some traffic in front of you as you get closer to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. So that's pretty good for this hour in the morning. Seeing some building traffic, though, on Carmichael eastbound to Blue Hill Road. And Blue Hill Road congested in that area. Elsewhere, not much to talk about so far, but we'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. That's your Morning Blend Traffic, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear up for an RBC auto loan. And at 7:48, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. We've got a mid to upper level trough near the northwest Bahamas that's going to support some shower activity, mainly over the northwestern islands. Meanwhile, weak high pressure at the surface, generating gentle to fresh breezes. Boaters should be alert due to the threat of waterspout activity, and everybody being advised to remain hydrated and limit outdoor activities. We're expecting another day with triple-digit heat indices. So for today, for the northwest Bahamas, variably cloudy and hot with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly over the extreme northwestern islands through tonight. Some showers could become heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. For the central and southeast Bahamas, mostly sunny and hot with a chance of a few isolated showers or thunderstorms, becoming fair and warm tonight with a chance of showers. Temperatures today getting up to around 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index will make you feel like it's 104 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. In your extended outlook, a weak surface high pressure system remains across the islands, generating light to gentle breezes. That'll continue for the next few days. Lingering troughing near the extreme northwest Bahamas will also enhance showers across the area. So for Wednesday and Thursday, we're looking at mostly sunny and hot conditions, a few isolated showers, and thunderstorms possible. We'll have a look at the tropics coming up in our next weather check after the 8 o'clock news. But this weather check brought to you by Easy Car Sales. It's time to go electric. Check them out, Easy Car Sales.
That's the sound of your car or truck. That's the sound of your horn. Get in gear with an auto loan. RBC makes it easy to get your own.
Get in gear with an RBC auto loan with up to 100% financing, extended repayment, and low interest rates. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear up. Conditions apply.
That's the sound of your car or truck. That's the sound of your horn. Get in gear with an auto loan. RBC makes it easy to get your own.
There's a new electric vehicle in town, the Jack brand of SUVs, trucks, sedans, and commercial vans, available only at Easy Car Sales, home of the fully electric vehicle. For a powerful, smooth ride at a fraction of the cost to drive, leave the pump behind and hit the road with Jack. Visit easy242.com to see our brand new Jack models and drop into Easy Car Sales for a test drive. It'll have you singing. Hit the road with Jack, and don't you pump gas no more.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, come play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
When faced with an illness like cancer, we band together, and we at Cleveland Clinic in Florida have your back. From advanced cancer treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations, we're with you on this journey for every infusion and follow-up, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
Total Auto Care on Howard Road offers fast, quality auto maintenance at the very best prices. Tune-ups, oil changes, brakes, suspension, wheel alignments, radiators, water pump replacements, and more. Need quality brand name tires for your vehicle? Tires that'll stand up to these roads? No worries. We supply Michelin, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Pirelli, and Toyo. We'll import them fast and install them for you at no extra cost. So when your car needs maintenance or quality tires, we're on Howard Road, just before Burger King. Come see us. Total Auto Care. Call us at 341-6599 or 341-2350.
At Alive, we believe that every common loftier goal is within our reach. We believe in the essence of our identity, the richness of our history, and the boundless potential that lies within us. That's why our network is built by, owned by, and managed by us. Alive, believe in Bahamians. Visit BeAlive.com to take advantage of our golden independence deals. Alive, believe in best.
Summer your way with Scotiabank. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan this summer and open the doors to your dream destination, the perfect home renovation, or prep for back to school, and so much more. Enjoy competitive rates, flexible loan terms, and no payments for up to 2 months. Use your plan loan to unlock your perfect summer break. Apply for your Scotia Plan loan today and have summer your way with Scotiabank. Visit bs.scotiabank.com or call 242-356-1697 for further details.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Atlantic Insurance Agents and Brokers. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Indulge in an experience that awakens your senses with Nescafe Gold. Premium Arabica coffee beans, carefully selected, roasted to perfection, and finely ground, resulting in a unique and unmatched flavor and aroma that captivates the senses. Enticing aroma, smooth taste. Elevate your coffee experience with Nescafe Gold.
The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center is here to help small businesses throughout the entire Bahamas. To better serve you, we've made it easier to contact us. Call 461-7232, WhatsApp 359-0626 or 359-2394, email helpdesk@spdcbahamas.com, or submit a ticket when you visit our help center at accessaccelerator.org. The Access Accelerator, empowering small business. Attention all beauty enthusiasts. Perfect Tone, your go-to destination for restorative skincare, is on the move. Famous for flawless results within 30 days, Perfect Tone is relocating to the shops of Southwest Carmichael Road. Now is the time to get the skin you've always dreamed of, removing dark spots, acne, and oily textured skin for good. For more information and updates, follow us on social media or visit our website at ptskincare.com.
When the night's here, I don't do tears, baby, no chance. I could dance, I could dance, I could dance. Watch me dance, dance the night away. My heart could be burning, but you won't see it on my face. Watch me dance, dance the night away. I'll still keep the party.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean on this Tuesday morning, 1st of August. All right, so let's get to this very quickly before we have to break for news. We'll pick this up on the other side. So Bella, remember the name, everybody. I don't think we'll ever forget. The sentencing now for Bella's mom. Our Artesia Davis writing about it. The mother who failed to protect her 4-year-old daughter from her abusive boyfriend was on Monday jailed for 3 years. Astanya Walker, the mother of Deania Bella Walker, received a sentence for the role she played in her daughter's November 4th, 2021 murder. Bella was beaten to death by Walker's live-in boyfriend Darian Smith while her mother was at work. Investigations revealed that the youngster had been mistreated by Walker and Smith in the months leading up to her death, leaving police to charge Smith with murder and Walker with child cruelty and exposing a child to grievous harm. Smith pleaded guilty to Bella's murder on January 16th and was sentenced to 25 years as part of a plea deal. Walker also pleaded guilty. However, the prosecution and defense could not agree on a sentencing recommendation. Consequently, the decision was left to Justice Renee McKay. Walker received concurrent sentences of 3 and 2 years for child cruelty and exposing a child to grievous harm. The time she spent on remand will be deducted from the sentence. A probation report revealed that Walker's parents abandoned her as an infant. This is the mother now. And she lived with a guardian until she turned 10. At that age, Walker was returned to her mother and was later sent to live with other relatives until she turned 17. She dropped out of school when she became a teenage mom. She decided to further her education as an adult and was enrolled in the law program at the University of the Bahamas at the time of Bella's death. The probation officer said most people whom she interviewed said that Walker deserved a second chance as a victim of domestic abuse herself. However, Walker's twin sister and paternal grandmother said she deserved the full brunt of the law. So I guess all of that was taken into account by the judge in determining the sentence: 3 years, 3 years in prison.
3 and 2.
But to run at the same time,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
3.
I mean, what's interesting about that story, though, Dwight, is that prior to her death, I'm talking about Bella, she was abused by both. It says by Walker and Smith in the months before her death. So, I feel that that's such a light sentence for someone who has continually been, abusing their child, because that's what this article alludes to me, that there was continuous abuse prior to the child's death. That's the first thing, that I say about that. And then, secondly, I think that our past can definitely have some impact on our future, but at the same time, it can't be a crutch for when we make poor decisions.
Let's pick this up after the news.
Okay.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. And now at 8:21, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got a mid to upper level trough near the northwest Bahamas. That's going to support shower activity mainly over the northwestern islands. Meanwhile, high pressure at the surface is generating gentle to fresh breezes. Boaters should be alert for waterspout activity, and everybody's being advised to limit outdoor activities and to remain hydrated due to heat indices in the triple digits once again. For today, for the northwest Bahamas, look for variably cloudy and hot conditions, with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly over the extreme northwestern islands. That's going to continue through tonight. Some showers could be heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. For the central southeast Bahamas, mostly sunny and hot with a chance of a few isolated showers or thunderstorms, becoming fair and warm tonight with a chance of showers or thunderstorms. Temperatures getting up to around 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. The heat index will make it feel like it's 104 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. In your extended outlook, a weak surface high-pressure system that remains over the islands, of course, generating light to gentle breezes over the next few days. Lingering troughing near the extreme northwest Bahamas will enhance shower chances over that part of the country as well. So for Wednesday and Thursday, mostly sunny and hot with a few isolated showers or thunderstorms. In the tropics, Got two areas that we are monitoring, but no threat to the Bahamas at all. Got that area of low pressure about 650 miles northeast of the northern Leeward Islands with a medium to high chance of formation through the next 7 days, about 60 to 70%. And then we've got a gale force low pressure system about several hundred miles south of Nova Scotia with a 10% chance of formation through the next 7 days. Both of those are going to be heading out to the sea, into the Atlantic Ocean, and not going to be a threat to anybody. Elsewhere, tropical cyclone formation not expected through the next 7 days. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First. Visit firstonlineinsurance.com and select a Bahamas First agent to purchase, pay, or renew your car or home insurance 100% online, or just stop by any Bahamas First agent. Bahamas First, celebrating 40 years, is the first Bahamian general insurance company. What's first for you comes first for us. And it's day 24, time for another check of your traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Get in gear with an RBC auto loan. In your real-time traffic, Marlborough Highway, again, not looking so bad this morning. Just as you get north of Harold Pond, you'll see a long line of traffic ahead of you. Northbound to Tonic Williams-Darling Highway. Tonic Williams-Darling Highway backed up a bit as well, westbound to that roundabout. On Carmichael Road, we're seeing some congestion eastbound. You get near the Southwest Plaza to Blue Hill Road. That area on Blue Hill looking busy for you as well. That junction with Carmichael. And then a bit of traffic on, further north as you try to get over that hill to Independence Drive. Elsewhere, not looking so bad this morning. Got another one of these days. Only a few weeks left before we start to see the early morning traffic for back to school. But that's your morning blend traffic, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear up for an RBC auto loan.
Bimini is the gateway, Bahamas. 1492, Columbus landed. 1973, we were free.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean, one of Duquesa's favorites there, right? Yes. All right, so coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about breastfeeding. It's World Breastfeeding Week. We're going to get details about that and all the events here. That's coming up. And later in business, we're talking with RF Bank and Trust. It's part 2 of our series on margin loans. We're going to get into that a little bit later. But we continue to talk about what's in the news. Before the break, we read the story about the sentencing for Astonia Walker. That's Bella Walker. Remember Bella? Who was murdered back in 2021. And the mother now, Astonia Walker, is sentenced to 3 years in prison. That's 2 sentences that are running concurrently. She'd been charged with child cruelty, right?
Yeah.
And exposing child to grievous harm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're getting a reaction to that, folks. This is some text messages you can call in as well. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, or text us, 422-479. All right, so again, the boyfriend was sentenced to 25 years.
Yeah.
All right. So this texter says, I don't agree with the double standards shown in the sentencing of Bella's mother. Her lenient sentence will not act as a deterrent for mothers who put their children in harm's way by dating and leaving their children in the care of these undesirable men. Many more children are caught up in these dangerous situations, and not one word from authorities for them to take steps to get these children out.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, many women are placed in that, or I don't say placed in, but many women may find themselves in a situation where they don't have care for their children and may think that the person that they are dating is someone that they can leave their kids with. It's something that I think we need to do a real think about. Offline, you and I were talking about the fact that we really rarely know people, even when we live with them. People only show us, what they want us to see. And it's our responsibility to safeguard our kids. It's our responsibility to make sure that they can grow up without trauma and pain and be safe. And a lot of women may find that they don't have support for the safekeeping of their children, but that again is not a reason to haphazardly leave your child in the care of someone who has already demonstrated that they are abusive toward you and abusive toward your child. Because this wasn't an insulated incident, so that was definitely a poor decision.
It wasn't the first time that there were issues, apparently, right? We got a similar text. It seems like everybody knew that she was being abused. The mother was being abused by that guy. When are we, the society, going to put in place ways to protect women from the abuse? Because putting in a report, I guess, to the police doesn't help much at all.
Yeah, and that's true. We do need to bring community back, Dwight.
It's more complicated than that, right?
Yeah.
Because often when people are trying to help, the women don't want. Not always, but they often don't want.
It's really not cut and dry. It's complex when you are in an abusive relationship. You just can't say, I'm going to walk away, I'm going to leave. There's a lot of mind games, a lot of things at play, but support helps. So if you know that someone is being abused, you can give support. You can be a safe space. You can give encouragement. You could be non-judgmental, help them to build up their courage. It definitely needs an entire support team to get someone who is in a domestically abusive relationship to leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This text here, I'm not sure if this is about this. Anyway, we sit by and allow 39 people to do whatever they want, knowing they have no clue. When we are tired enough, we will demand change. I see you two have slipped into acceptance now about BPL bills. You think so? Not quite. Ain't high enough to demand they address it anymore, I guess. No, absolutely.
No.
That's not what I'm saying. No. Not at all. Not at all. But I have been sitting in the heat a little bit more since my last
You
bill.
have, yes.
But I'm very angry and not willing to accept it. But anyway, we'll talk more about it another time. So they're saying so it is with the majority. We Bahamians are getting everything we deserve yet, and more to come. Soon time to start crying about traffic in schools again as usual. Same old. And that is true. We are on a merry-go-round or a hamster wheel doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Expecting different results, but the results are the same regardless. It's a difficult situation.
All right, let's see if we can get this call in here. The caller, are you there? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. All right, let's go to that call there.
Hello.
Hi, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hello, can you hear me, Dwight?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, I hear you in the back say it every day, giving off the numbers and everything, and I'm just saying hello.
Yeah, we can hear you
now. Good morning, Dwight, and your guest.
Morning.
You know, Dwight, when I think about it, when it comes to abuse of a child, I can't understand that, Dwight. I went through something, Dwight, that most men or most fathers never went through. My last child, he's 29 now, on the 27th of last month. When he was 4 years old, one Saturday morning, his mother, we were not married, his mother pulled up to my home in Seabreeze. There's a little small 4-year-old boy in Pampers and a T-shirt knocking on my door.
Wow.
She's sitting out in the car saying, he's all yours now, and just pull off and gone. I didn't know what to do. I called my lawyer at the time. She said, come up here, come up here, come up here. It was Dwight. It was between paydays when was waiting for payday. It was going to be the next week. That was Saturday. Now, Monday morning, I have to go to Patelco to work. And I got this 4-year-old boy. I went up to my lawyer, and she gave me $300 today. Go to Sandy's or somewhere, get him some pajamas, get him some underwear, get him some T-shirts, and I'll help you try to get him enrolled into a school up in close by Seabreeze where you are. Over the weekend, ask your boss for a week off to get him settled in. And most of my friends and associates can tell you, I brought up a 4-year-old boy by myself as a bachelor. Took him wherever I had to go. If I had to go to the pub tonight, sit down, play dominoes, and drink a beer, he was there. When I went to travel to the Harbour Island every other Friday, me and him would jump on the Bohingi, rent a golf cart, and he was even christened at St. George Anglican Church up there. He is 29 years old now in New Brunswick, Canada. His dream is always to be a pilot. He's studying aviation and flying now. He's in Canada. He's 29, like I say, or the 27th. To mess with a young child, and what I'm hearing, a big, grown, rusty man picks up a little 9-year-old girl and sexually molest her, and then drop her on the road for adults to pick up and try help that little girl, and to actually find him by the police. You know, Dwight, when you think about it, this is a Christian nation. I don't know if this island or this country got a curse over it. The things I've been here going on lately in this town, when I was growing up as a youngster, police didn't even have a gun. Police didn't even walk around here with a gun. Now every police walking around with an AK-47 assault weapons. Mm-hmm. Dwight, if this was in a Muslim nation, that man would have molested that little girl. We know what would have happened to him. Either before a wall with a firing squad, or he would have lost a member of his body. And that's what I think we need to do in this country, though. Instead of making laws and jumping up and down, and lawyers making deals to get people off and put them in ankle bracelet, we need to really get serious. When we used to go and park outside Fox Hill Prison and watch the black horse come out with the box and put him in Seeming No More Old Trail Cemetery. Well, we need to get back to enforcing the laws put on the book. If you mess with somebody or kill somebody, you will hang by the neck until you're dead, dead, dead. Have a good day.
All right, Sparky, I hear you. I mean, yeah, maybe, but let's not pretend that all these sexual incidents, these sex crimes, they were always happening.
Yeah, always.
Even when we were hanging people whenever we were doing that, right? So just because you didn't hear about it as much didn't mean it wasn't happening. It's probably happening less than it used to happen. So we have had this problem for a very long time. It's just that there are more spotlights around now. So we've been in this place for longer than many would care to admit. And we have to acknowledge that and act. Right? So you could sit back and be shocked and surprised by what you're hearing. Or you could say, well, we're tired of this now.
Yeah. And get to the root, get to the root of it. There are some things that I think we need to be okay examining, like mental health of young people or children. They're diagnosing children now with schizophrenia and all of those sorts of things. Now, we need to really get to the root and take the blinders off of our eyes and see when support is needed and what needs to be done from the very root of the issue, and help eliminate some of the challenges that we are definitely experiencing.
Absolutely. Some messages as we go to a break. This person says, Dwight, I've been saying for years now that lawmakers are the problem in this country. They need to erase the ability for judges to issue concurrent sentences. Move the word concurrent off all sentencing guidelines. Maybe you should advocate the same. Well, I hear you. I am inclined to agree. I think that sends some wrong messages and defeats the purpose. But we do have a crisis at the prison as well. But I hear you. That is problematic. Yeah. That is definitely problematic. This one says here. Okay, thanks. Come September, we'll be faced with potholes. Okay, great. Yeah, sure. Let's see. Okay, all of this is about irrelevant stuff. As usual, we're talking about something serious, but everyone's focusing on all the wrong things, right? The messenger, like, oh, we're tired of Sparky. But are you listening to what he's saying?
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, really, in the absence of consequences, there's just no change. Mm-hmm. So if we continue doing the same things over and over and over, just like, some of the callers have said before, there's a lot of conversation happening and people are really good from the outside looking and making conversations and judgments and all that sort of stuff. But we need to move beyond that now. And we definitely need more action towards resolving some of the issues and holding those that are responsible for driving the resolution, holding them with more fire to get some things done as well, And I think we do, I'm just going to push it a bit. I think we do need a little bit more support for single moms. Where can they take their children?
Oh, yeah, so there's similar text just saying the same thing. Name a place where women and children can go to be safe for a year. I mean, I think there are one or two, but
it's not enough.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
It's really not enough.
They're saying the public needs to step up and family and friends need to confront these abusers and testify against their friends. Well. Yeah, so we definitely need more safe houses. We need,
we even need more in terms of, perhaps some sort of committee for babysitters where you can be vetted, have reasonable pricing so that if parents need support, they can call on CPR trained, safe people that can come and babysit their kids.
Babysitting union or association.
Something that gives you a sense of safety that your children will be taken care of. If there's an emergency, that person knows what to do. Mm-hmm. A lot of people will pay for that type of support. Many people just don't have anywhere to take their kids. Yeah. Daycare is closed at a certain time. So at night, if you work nights, like, what do you do with your kids? Mm-hmm. So we definitely need more solutions to help parents. Single mothers, but parents generally, with having safe spaces for their kids.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Columbus landed. 1973, we were free. Jungle doing they sweet Bahamas. They go to church on Sunday, Bahamas. Come Saturday on the weekend, Bahamas. Catching private address, Bahamas.
That's the sound of your car or truck. That's the sound of your horn. Get in gear with an auto loan. RBC makes it easy to get your own.
Get in gear with an RBC auto loan with up to 100% financing, extended repayment, and low interest rates. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear up. Conditions apply.
That's the sound of your car or truck. That's the sound of your horn. Get in gear with an auto loan. RBC makes it easy to get your own.
Shop early to get your uniforms and catch Janae's Uniform Center's buy 4, get 1 free sale. Free monogrammed and regular school shirts, dry fit and cotton polos, jumpers, skirts, boys long and short pants, PE shorts, underclothes, tights, socks, neckties, belts, sleeping mats, hair accessories, and character work desk. Get 50% off backpacks, lunch bags, and raincoats. Buy 4 school shirts, get 1 free. Buy 2 skirts, jumpers, or pants, get the third 50% off. Need embroidery and monogramming done? Visit Janae's Uniform Center early. Beat the back to school rush. Janae's Chesapeake Road back to school special. Restrictions apply.
Tell them.
At Alive, we believe that every common loftier goal is within our reach. We believe in the essence of our identity, the richness of our history, and the boundless potential that lies within us. That's why our network is built by, owned by, and managed by us. Alive, believe in Bahamians. Visit bealive.com to take advantage of our golden independence deals. Alive, believe in best.
It's been 35 years since Custom Computers was founded, and we'd like to celebrate that milestone by thanking you, our clients and customers. You've inspired 35 years of expert service and support, partnering with the world's leading brands like HP, Apple, and Microsoft. We take pride in setting the bar for what you expect and deserve from a homegrown Bahamian business. We're here to serve you when you need us, so call 396-1101. Custom Computers, raising the standard since 1987.
Total Auto Care on Howard Road offers fast, quality auto maintenance at the very best prices. Tune-ups, oil changes, brakes, suspension, wheel alignments, radiators, water pump replacements, and more. Need quality brand name tires for your vehicle, tires that'll stand up to these roads? No worries. We supply Michelin, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Pirelli, and Toyo. We'll import them fast and install them for you at no extra cost. So when your car needs maintenance or quality tires, we're on Howard Road, just before Burger King. Come see us. Total Auto Care. Call us at 341-6599 or 341-2350.
Are you ready to take your career to the next level as a qualified mental health or school counseling professional? University of the Bahamas has a new Master of Science in Counseling program. Get ready to reach new heights as you learn from our expertly trained faculty. Our program meets the highest international standards, ensuring you receive the best education possible. We focus on everything you need to excel, like individual and group counseling, clinical interventions, and research and program evaluations. Our 2-year program brings together a close-knit cohort that'll support you throughout your educational journey. Experience the power of transformation. So what are you waiting for? Grab this opportunity now. To apply, call 397-2602, 397-2606, or email graduate@ub.edu.bs. Don't miss out.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Don't be led, don't be led, don't be led in the wrong direction. Don't be lured, don't be lured, don't be lured in any other action.
Breastfeed your babies for God's sake, over and over each time they're awake.
Don't be led, don't be led, don't be led in the wrong direction. Don't be lured, don't be lured, don't be lured in any other action. Researchers continue to bring good news so that you will know the don'ts and the do's. Don't be led, don't be led, don't be led in the wrong direction. Don't be lured, don't be lured, don't be lured in any other action.
Read all about breastfeeding.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, along with Duquesa Dean. Hey, that's the theme song for the National Breastfeeding Association and the Ministry of Health and Wellness and World Breastfeeding Week going on right now, August 1st through 7th. Very pleased to have with us from the Bahamas National Breastfeeding Association, we have Trinica Hall, Ampersand Simonet, and midwife Anna Forbes. Great to have you all with us. Good morning.
It's wonderful to be here and in Nassau for me.
It's been a while since you've been in the studio, Trinica. Yes. But happy World Breastfeeding Week.
Yes.
All right, so before we get into the events, let's talk about it. I know you all are always advocating for breastfeeding and how important it is. Remind folks why you are so passionate about this. Ampersand, you want to begin?
Yeah. Good morning, Bahamas. This is Ampersand Simonet. The reason why we do what we do is because every day a new baby is born. Every day they need help. The mother is new, regardless of whether it's a first baby or second or third. And once we give her the kind of care she needs at delivery, she's going to do well with the breastfeeding. And one of the important things is being able to come receivable for the advice and care they're going to give in labor. So you cannot expect a mother to come not having prepared for the position and role she's going to take, because it's a responsibility. As my daughter-in-law once said to me, Mom, it's not easy to breastfeed. It's hard. I said, I know, but they need to know it's a very, what do you call it?
It's achievable.
Self-sacrificial thing, but you do it because you love your baby, and that's the best thing, investment you can do for your baby.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get right the mic. Wow. Anna. Midwife Anna. Get a little closer to the mic there. Mm-hmm.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Midwife Anna, and why we do what we do, why we are so excited about it. According to World Health Organization, around 2.7 million deaths annually occurs, which is about 45% of all child deaths and is associated with undernutrition. Breastfeeding provides an effective way to promote healthy growth and development of the child. If women exclusively breastfeed for 6 months, it would make a big difference. It would make a dent in this. So we want to get the news out that breastfeeding is crucial. It's important. And we want our governments, we want the lawmakers, we want the maid, the janitors, we want everybody to be involved because it gives us security. It prevents a lot of illnesses and disease in children. We want to make a better Bahamas, and it begins at the breast.
Amen.
Wow.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Janika Hall?
breastfeeding is paramount. It is something that we need. It has been pushed back in the background because everyone is talking formula because we have a lot of working women here in this Bahama land. Most women here work. Very few go just stay home and be housewives, okay? So we want to press and to push breastfeeding exclusively. That means no more combo feeding, okay?
No.
We have people combo feeding, meaning formula and breast.
Right.
We don't want that. That is not the best choice. That is not the gold standard. The gold standard is only human milk should be given to your baby either direct from her breast, direct from the mother's breast to the baby, or you give your breast milk in a cup or a sippy cup, okay? Not from a bottle with a nipple on it. Okay? Some people, I know they do it where they say, oh, I breastfeed. I only give my baby breast milk. But giving it with the bottle causes the nipple confusion. And we don't want that.
Explain what that is.
Nipple confusion means, the word confusion means you mix up. Okay? Meaning you mix right up because you giving the baby your nice, soft, supple breast for 6 months or for a certain length of time, and then all of a sudden you pop a bottle in the baby's mouth. If you feel a nipple is hard and rigid. So for that to stay in the baby's mouth, the baby has to what does the baby do on a nipple to keep it in his mouth? He has to bite on it. And when he bites on that nipple, okay, it's going to hurt mommy if one day she gives him her breast again. What you think, he may mistakenly think it's a nipple again, right? So he's going to bite the mother, and she's going to have some pain. So that's where the nipple, so the baby gets confused. Is this the breast today, or is this the nipple? So it causes the nipple confusion, and the baby can bite the mother.
Yeah.
And guess what? If a mother gets bite, the nipple of the breast is very sensitive. The mother will not want to breastfeed this child anymore because she got bite.
Right.
Okay?
And also, in addition to that, when you understand how breast milk is made, the physiology behind it, the minute you decrease the time the baby goes to the breast, that sends a message. Supply will be diminished. And that's why a lot of people say, oh, my breast milk stopped coming. Or no. Because little demand, little supply.
Wow.
Great demand, great supply. No demand, no supply. We know for a fact, it's been proven, it's scientific evidence-based. You have what you need to breastfeed that baby for 6 months. And all, sometimes we don't be in agreement, but all health bodies agree on that. Yeah. American Academy of Pediatrics, they say the same thing. UNICEF, United National International Children Education Fund, they say breastfeed for 6 months. World Health Organization, which governs the whole, and all the other, globally, they say 6 months exclusively breastfeeding. And we have people who have done it and are doing it. So we know it ain't something, the abnormality is giving a baby formula. We should be skinned up. That's not normal.
All right, so you all have been coming on these shows for a long time now.
A long time.
What do we have numbers? Like, are we seeing a shift? Are you seeing the number
That 18.7% was low when we did the last study. We are
That is
soon
in
about to do another study. And guess what? We are moving forward with policy now.
So what is it? 18
18%. Right as well say 18%.
exclusively doing
Breastfeeding, yeah.
Okay, wow.
And
For 6 months.
But that's better than it was like in the 70s, right?
It's much better.
And the other thing, the president, I will add, is the reason for not breastfeeding is going back to work.
That's the
That was the main reason. And that is why at the moment we're trying to fight with the people who are making decisions to be more sensitive and empathetic to the employees.
Yeah.
Because some of them last year they had protests outside the house because they had to go to the bathroom to breastfeed. And that is not, no. Will you eat your lunch in the bathroom? No. So we are trying to sensitize them. So this year, theme for World Breastfeeding Week is enabling breastfeeding, making a difference for working parents. And this is why we are, NGO is a autonomous organization, so we have a certain amount of liberty to reach people. So we boldly and bravely sent some letters to
That's right. To advocate for breastfeeding.
So they will think about their role in this and responsibility to making it.
We are getting there. I work also for the, even though I'm the president for the Bahamas National Breastfeeding Association, I am also the lactation coordinator for the Bahamas, and we are working feverishly as a team. The collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Wellness and the BNBA and other NGOs, we are working together to get a policy established, and it will be on the table shortly. So just keep watching and waiting.
Give us a hint. What type of policy? What are you talking about?
It's a breastfeeding policy.
To allow working women?
Yes, for working women, yes.
The reason why is policy dictates
What we do.
responsibility and how we are to do it. Because now everybody's doing their own thing. No, we need a policy that comes from
standard.
the national governance. So that all of us say, if I'm working for you, I have to abide by the rules that are stipulated, you know?
And for one of the events that you're having a working women breastfeeding seminar.
Oh, yes, we are having that today. The 1st of August. We are having that today, starting at 5 p.m. today, from 5 to 9 o'clock. I am telling you, it's a 2-day seminar, so it's today and tomorrow. So we are dealing with stuff like how to pump. We are dealing with stuff like how to store your milk, dealing with family support, all of those good stuff. What exclusive breastfeeding is. We're going to be dealing with the skin-to-skin issue. We have wonderful presenters. We are going to have a wonderful time. We will have a nice, healthy food for who comes in person. And guess what? We will also be on Zoom for those young mothers who just had baby and can't get out. They can do it on Zoom with us. Okay?
So if they want to be a part of that, what do they need to do? If people
All they have to do is give us a hit up, check us out on Facebook, the BNBA. We have the flyers up with the Zoom link and the password if you're going to do it on Zoom. And guess what? If you're coming in person, please arrive before 5 o'clock for us to register you so you will get your certificate. Okay? All right? And it's a tutor. And lots of gifts. I have my vehicle packed with stuff for the participants, so please come on down. I don't know if you want me to talk about the other activities.
Yes,
now?
yes. Okay, before we get to the where is the seminar going to be? The seminar is at...
The seminar is going to happen at the Ministry of Health and Wellness on Meeting Street on the 2nd floor in the cafeteria from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. today and tomorrow. Okay? Our next event is going to happen on Friday morning. So be there, the big latch on. We will be putting our babies to the breast for 3 minutes. Okay, and we will be at
And
the
that's a
Ministry
global
of
event,
Yes,
right?
that's a global thing. So we will be putting our
That's on
babies to the
Friday.
breast at that time. Guess what? Maternity ward is on board with us.
Private.
All right, so they will be on
Private
board
service.
with us.
And
Yeah, private
Grand Bahama
surgical,
Doctors
maternity
Hospital.
ward, and we will also doctors, all of them.
Wow.
Family
Okay.
Island, everyone will be on board with us at that time. So, and we will be giving out prizes and gifts for these mothers and babies. That will be. We have all breast pads, breast pumps. We have diapers, wipes. We have everything to give away, and we will have it all for you at that event. So please come on down and be a part. Now, one thing, it's going to be happening right out front in the veranda area or the courtyard
but the
in
priests-
open air. So not to be afraid
Where?
of anything.
This is it.
At the Ministry
At
of
Ministry of
Health.
Health as well.
You
Okay.
know, they are our co-partners in
Right.
this, so
We
they
have
are
to
the
always
venue.
rely on them.
Yes, and our big finale, I cannot forget, we will be at
Service
church at
Maranatha.
Maranatha Seventh-day Adventist Church at 11 a.m. in the morning to worship together. And also, those who can't
BFM.
make it on Saturday, we will be
BFM.
to church again at BFM for 10 a.m. in the morning. So I'm praying for our grand finale event on the holiday. Oh, I can't wait. I declare sunshine and breeze that
all the
we will have
skills.
our awesome umbrella-thon that Mrs. Carlotta Class came up. She came up with this many moons ago. And you dress up your umbrella with breastfeeding theme for this year. That same theme I said, enabling breastfeeding, making a difference for working women. You put that on your umbrella. Guess what? We have some awesome prizes. Awesome prizes. So please come on down, bring your umbrellas, dress it up, and march with us from Nassau, from the Ministry of Health parking lot, down Nassau Street. It's not long. On to
Ponciana.
Ponciana, and
Across
back up
Augusta
to
Street.
Augusta Street.
And back on
To Ministry of Health. And guess what? We can have something for you to refresh yourself. And we will announce the winner. And it's free. Everything is free.
What time is that going to be?
10 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
Yes,
Fine.
register. You have to come. You can't reach 10 o'clock now. You
There
have
was
to
a
reach
judging.
9 so we could register your umbrella if you want to be in the competition.
All right.
All right.
Abby, you want to say something?
Yes, I want to reach out to all of the PSs and government organizations. Please send your HR persons so they can learn about what their role is in this important theme. And not only that, grandmothers come because you help your daughters to breastfeed. Mothers are going to have babies do that. And young teachers who are teaching family life also need to know so that we can look at breast milk as a nutritional perspective, not as family
Sexual.
planning, sexual thing. But
Okay,
because
so I'm glad you mentioned that because we got this text here. You've got a lot of work to do. My goodness. This person says, how will these ladies be allowed to expose their breasts in public? What the heck? All right. So you've got a lot of people
Hello?
who are really not
Hello?
understanding this.
there is a way you can do it. I'm wearing a low blouse at the moment, but I have this scarf that covers me. So you can very discreetly sit and do it but don't take the right away from the mother. That is her right to feed the baby the human milk and the right of the baby because the baby doesn't have a voice. And I cry for them because we need to stand up for the right of that
And
child.
also, I would like to add to that. Remember, when the baby is effectively put on the breast properly, the breast is in the baby's mouth. All you will see is the baby's face. You will not see anything. Compared to, I hate to say, but half of these women are naked anyhow. Sometimes you have to tell them, can you please pull up your blouse? All of the areola is showing.
Right, wow.
And they have nothing to say about that. But if you're nurturing your baby, that's a problem. Let's get it right, Bahamas.
Yeah.
Let's get it right.
And also, don't destroy the mother. You're making her lose her confidence. If you're the husband and you tell her, that lipstick look good on you, dear, you find her, she'll go and buy the same color lipstick, same color shoes, same color purse, because she needs encouragement. And you want your baby to be healthy. The benefits are so many. Now I look at the Sustainable Development Goals that is aligned with breastfeeding, poverty, education, and education is needed for intellectual capacity development. And then economic savings. There's so much. And then the climate change, it affects it too because a landfill is not
climate
full of bottles and teats and all those things.
Yeah.
Eh?
Wow. All right. So this person says, I'm running out of time, but this person says here, by the way, I had my baby on my breast for weeks and there was zero supply. So demand does not equal supply. What do you say to that person? That something else is going on there.
you say
Midwife Anna, you want to talk about that?
Demand does equal supply. Initially, at birth, you have colostrum coming. Colostrum comes drip, drip, drip. The baby's stomach is about the size of a marble. Listen to me. This plan is God ordained. It has nothing to do with man, and it's a perfect plan from a perfect God. The baby's stomach at birth is about the size of a marble. The colostrum is concentrated. If you look at it, it's thick, it's yellow, it's golden, and it comes drip, drip. It's all the baby need. The baby's stomach only can hold about 6 mils at birth. Every day, the stomach grows. The milk change from colostrum to transitional to mature milk in about 3 to 5 days, and the milk is flowing. So you need the most important thing, and that's why we want to raise awareness, is education. Prepare yourself for this.
Come to the workshop.
Come to the workshop so you can get all the right knowledge, because I tired hearing that. Even sometimes from professional health people. Oh, ain't nothing coming.
It's a negativity.
That need to stop because that is false.
Yeah.
Now, one other thing pertaining to that now. Mom, you may be doing some other things wrong. You might be putting the baby to the breast, but are you drinking a lot of caffeinated drinks? Are you well hydrated? Are you stressed out? Are you in pain? Is the latch on proper? Is the baby on the breast correctly? There are so many things that come into play with effective milk production.
Wow.
My greatest gift is when I go to a mother, she calls, or I do it on video. I tell her, okay, dear, you are a mother who wants to breastfeed. Now, I want you to position the baby, hold her close to you or him close to you. Don't let the nipple alone go in. The attachment is so important. One of the things we are trying to fight is to encourage mothers to put the babies on the breast, skin to skin, in labor, as soon as the baby is born. So you're creating a colony of mommy's germ and the baby's germ, so not too many of invasion by other people. And we're also asking for rooming in, so the demand and supply can be met. You know, I always tell mothers about tap. If you want water, you have to turn it on, and the baby must turn it on. And it's confidence, and we need that kind of confidence from the mothers, you know?
Yeah. All right, really quickly, you got about a minute left. But we notice that a lot of the pushback when it comes to women and breastfeeding in the workplace comes from other women. Let's talk about that. And I know you say you're working on the legislation, but what can you do in the meantime to get other women to understand? Because the women will be the ones telling people to go in the bathroom. You might not hear that from a guy, but what do you
We
what do you say?
have to educate. We have to educate. That's why we are doing this seminar. If these women know this information firsthand, they know what they need to know. Nobody could tell you no foolishness. If you go to the parent craft and the breastfeeding classes at the regular clinics, or go to Nurse Anna or myself, and are trained, you know, you have the knowledge. No one could tell you no foolishness.
The other thing I know of a civil engineer, she was a little girl. You might know her. She's one of the Hepburn girls. Madia Hepburn. She's a brilliant young civil engineer working for Minister Works. That young lady, when she was a little girl, you know, because her mother is from Malaysia, I grew up in Malaysia, so we are friends. I used to go to her house. All of them were breastfed. She said, Auntie Ampusam, you see my doll? It was inside the shirt and she was breastfeeding. So you see, it's culture, mother passes it on to the child. Right. That culture needs to be recycled again. Because people went out to work, so industrialization caused our women to think, oh, because I'm in this level now, I need to give formula, but this is better. But they've forgotten that. They've missed the point. No?
Wow. Thank you for being here this morning. Always a pleasure talking with all of you. Great having you here. Trinico Hall, Ampisan Simonet, and midwife Anna Forbes. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Again, happy World Breastfeeding Week to all of you and to everybody out there. All right, we're going to break for news and be back with Morning Blend Business. here
Oh,
on
thank
Guardian
you so
Radio
much.
96.9. Thank you.
Ooh,
Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Thank you. I need to
Dance and celebrate Bahamas. Dance and celebrate Bahamas. Dance and celebrate Bahamas. Dance and celebrate Bahamas.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. Don't lie on your resume. Because if you say you've got trapeze experience, someone might shoot you out of a cannon and expect you to do a gymnast routine while flying through the air at 82 miles an hour. And just because you want to land on your feet doesn't mean you will. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance, so you get the best coverage for the price.
Get the best coverage for the price. CG Atlantic Medical and Life Insurance. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Tired of paying too many bills and loan payments each month?
Shrink your monthly debt payments down to one easy payment with our debt consolidation loan.
It also has a built-in savings that pays you 5% interest.
Inquire about our debt consolidation loans today.
Call 356-7764.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and carved body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
There's a new electric vehicle in town. The Jack brand of SUVs, trucks, sedans, and commercial vans. Available only at Easy Car Sales, home of the fully electric vehicle. For a powerful, smooth ride at a fraction of the cost to drive, leave the pump behind and hit the road with Jack. Visit easy242.com to see our brand new Jack models and drop into Easy Car Sales for a test drive. It'll have you singing. Hit the road with Jack, and don't you pump gas no more.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, August 1st, 2023. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean. And this morning it's part 2 of our special series on margin loans with RF Bank and Trust. Very pleased to have back with us Rachel Alahar. And we've got Quentin Gibson, brokerage supervisor. Good to have you with us in studio. You've been on with us a couple times before when we were doing the Zoom thing all the time, but good to have you in studio finally. Rachel,
to be here. Morning.
Good to see you again. All right, so before we get into today, we're going to be looking at unleashing the full potential of margin loans. Just give us a quick reminder, if you missed part 1, what a margin loan is all about.
All right, so no problem. So a margin loan is basically if you have stocks, bonds, preference shares, a portfolio of securities, you're able to borrow against that portfolio to either invest in more securities or even use the funds for another purpose.
Okay, all right. Sounds simple enough. All right, so now when we talk about unleashing the full potential, let's get into that. How is that possible? What can you do? What are some things that investors need to keep in mind?
All right, so the first thing you need to keep in mind is what it is that you're borrowing against. You don't want to just borrow because you have the ability to borrow. You want to be sure that you're borrowing for the right purpose, and the securities that you're borrowing against are securities that are worth borrowing against. You don't want to ever put your money into anything. You don't want to ever borrow against anything that is declining, because that is going to work against your line of credit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's the stock is losing value.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and that goes back to having that base foundation of what it is you're investing your money into in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So I think we talked about that briefly last week, but how will you know? Should you be every day reading what's going on with the BISX? How does that work exactly?
Yeah, you should be. If you want to be successful at it, you should be interested. You should be reading the newspaper. You should be on the BISX. You should be asking questions. Mm-hmm. You have a place like RF Bank and Trust where I answer the phone daily to answer questions. So I know, it's not going to be. It's not as hard as it is. It does require commitment, discipline, but the actual how hard it is not that hard to keep abreast.
Yeah. So when you hear that the stock went down a couple cents, or should you be happy? Is that how investors really need to be looking at this?
No. So when a stock price goes down, obviously you don't want that to happen. You want it to go up. But if you're confident that what you've invested into is going to go up long term, because it's essentially when you're investing to build your wealth as a whole. Mm-hmm. You're investing to retire and be able to live off your investments. So when you invest, you're thinking, I'm investing in this security so that 10, even 15 years later, you might have a projection where 2 years later, but some securities you might see 15 years down the line, this will be 4, 5, 6 times worth what it is right now. And you see that vision based on whether it's the financials of the company, whether it's the product that they're providing, you see that it's going to be innovative in the future.
Right.
So there's a lot of different reasons but if you see it decline and you were saying, okay, this is going down, but I know that I am certain that it's going to go back up, or I have confidence that it's going to go back up, then it won't worry you.
Yeah.
But if you're investing blindly, the decline will worry you because you're not sure why it's declining.
Yeah.
And you don't have confidence it'll go back up.
So do we have, I don't know the right term, is it speculators? So if you see it going down and you don't have the stock, like this is my time to pounce now, should you be thinking with that type of mindset?
What do you say?
If you see it going down, like you don't have the stock, but I think in 5 years this will be hot. Let me buy now that it's going down.
Yes, if you see a stock that's declining and you are certain that this is a stock that I can invest into and will go back up, or this is coming to a rebound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's typically where what a Warren Buffett quote is buy on the low, sell on the. Typically that's how it goes. So it can be very complex, but you can make it very simple.
Yeah. And you all, RF, you advise people when you see stuff like that happening?
Not necessarily.
Or is it up to the investor?
Yeah, it is mostly up to the investor, at least from the brokerage side. We do have investment management services where that's different. But yeah, on the brokerage side, you're more so required to take the first step a lot of times. But we're there to take all the other steps after that.
Yeah. All right. So explain a little bit more to us about borrowing against these securities and how lucrative it can get.
Okay, so borrowing against securities is not the lucrative part of it. Your initial investment can be lucrative, it can grow, and it can be very prosperous for you. When you borrow against it, what you do with that money is what's going to impact how lucrative that can be. So if you decide, hey, I'm going to borrow against my security to buy more of it because I'm confident in it, then it can be lucrative for you once that happens. If you decide to borrow against it and invest blindly, then you're exposing yourself to much more risk, and while more risk can be more reward, it also has it's a spectrum that goes both ways when you decide to do that. So you're opening yourself up to unnecessary risk that you can't even understand, and that's not a good way to go. As well as while you can use the margins for any purpose, let's say you want a new car, you don't want to sell your security, you have confidence in it, you think it's going to grow, you're like, okay, I'm going to get a car off this money, but you only need a car. Don't say I'm going to get the next Mercedes and take a $50,000 and hey, maybe let me just get a small car something to get me through, because I'm not doing this. I'm not getting this car to be luxurious. I'm getting this car because I have a need, and that's the only reason why I'm borrowing. So typically, I would say consumer purchases against the margin are not ideal, but it is sometimes a necessary step because that's just the options that you have. Yeah.
So do you have restrictions on what people can borrow for, or is it?
No, there aren't any restrictions. I'm just giving a guidance.
Right.
Yeah. So you get the question about lucrative or not. There's no restrictions. You can do what it is as you please. Yes.
Okay.
Once you have the security and it's available, we blend against it. You're all good. I'm saying now from the lucrative standpoint, that's a lot of it is based on what you do with that.
Right.
Money. Yeah.
So what would you recommend? What are some examples or advice that you would give? This is a good scenario to borrow against your to get a margin loan.
I would say always borrow to invest. That would be the first thing I would say. Always borrow more to invest more. Now this is where I say it can be simple. That's a simple answer, but it can get complex because now there is a fee to borrow. So you don't want to. Right. You don't want to borrow and say, I'm going to just borrow and then I just invest in anything. You have to be sure that what it is that you're going to invest into, or you have to at least have the confidence, because you can't be sure of anything.
Give us some examples.
Okay, I'll give a few examples. Okay, like us. Man, I don't know if I want to talk about this. But anyway.
Well, that sounds like you should talk.
Yeah. But let's give an example of a stock that's moved significantly in price this year. That would be Bank of the Bahamas is starting to move significantly in price, right? If you had used your margin facility to buy more of that, I think that price maybe went up by 50%. So if you had bought it at the beginning of the year, you'd have a gain of 50%. But at this point in the year, you may have only paid like maybe 4-ish% on your margin as far as interest charges over the months. The net of that is like a 46% return high in the middle of the year. And then if you decide to liquidate, you now realize that gain, and that's how it works. But the opposite, the price went down, and now you lost value. Right. So it's like they say, it's both ways. But an example of it going well is that. Bad example would be let's just take out investing period. If you decide you want to go and take the money and go on vacation, you can do that. But now if your existing investments start to decline in value, and then you're still paying interest on that money that you owe. Right. It's like that's not an ideal scenario.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah, so you don't want to. Like I say, you don't. Consumer spending isn't ideal for it, but it's definitely something that you can use. Like I said, in the car scenario, that's a more ideal scenario because you need a car to get to and fro. It can make your life easier. But to kind of get into that leisurely, super leisure, you don't need to take a serious high-end vacation. Yeah.
All right, so I guess we're getting into that, how this compares to other loans or even credit cards. Let's talk about that and the differences there.
So the difference is, they did all lines of credit. But the difference is with our margin, like credit cards and personal loans. I know credit cards can typically be can be cash secured, some of them, and then with personal loans, they're normally unsecured debt. With our loans here, the loan is secured, so therefore the rate on it is much lower than you would get on a credit card or a personal loan. So I think we have a campaign going on, but it's like as low as 7.5%. Your credit cards can go up like 20%. Personal loans more in the range like 16%. So you're incentivized for having a portfolio of securities that already exists, and it's such a lower rate because of that. Yeah. And then as far as paying back on the margin loan, it's not the same as personal loans. With a personal loan, you have a specific amount that you have to pay every month consistently over a specific period of time. With a margin loan, you have a credit line and so let's say a credit line is $5,000, but you only use $3,000. You don't have to actually make a payment on it every month. You just have to make sure your credit line never goes above $5,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can manage it much better than you would be able to with a personal loan.
Right. Wow.
So you can create your payment schedule.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it gives you a lot more flexibility. And it allows you to be a lot more responsible with what it is you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, can you say what percentage of your clients are doing margin loans? I know this is an educational series. You're trying to get the word out, but is there interest so far? Are people aware?
Yeah, the persons so anyone that is aware of it and understands the benefits of it, use it. I can say that certainly. So I can't give an exact percentage of clients that use it, but I know the persons that know how to use it, know what it is, and know that benefits of it. they use it. And then you also have persons that just want to borrow who use it as well. So I would say a fair bit of clients, use the service for sure.
It certainly makes sense. It certainly makes sense. All right, so we have a credit bureau now. Does this affect that in any way? Does it come into play at all?
Well, not to my knowledge, not at this point. Because we're not lending. We're lending based off the existing securities.
Right.
So it's not. We're not lending based off your credit history. And it's based on what you have with us. So we're able to assess that there. So everything is done within the brokerage account, because you need a brokerage account to invest. To get a margin loan.
All right, so give us some more examples. What are some of the extremes that you've seen?
Okay. All right. So I'll give some numbers. Like, obviously no names, but I've seen persons use margins in an advantageous way where they've generated at least 6 figures return back to themselves. Obviously, they had a nice amount of wealth as well. But from a percentage standpoint, I've seen like 100% returns within a few months. People get on their portfolios, utilizing their margin loans to take advantage of those opportunities. So I've definitely seen people use it for very, very good reasons, and I've seen them be very prosperous with it. And I think that's what's giving me the confidence in the product, because you see how it's almost like I look at it and it's like fire almost. Like that is almost like fire. Like you could use it, you could get warmth. You could use it, you could eat, light. But boy, you play with that, you can burn you.
Right.
That's just what it is. It's a great tool to use, and all of us use fire every day. We apply that same concept to the margin loans, to debt as a whole, actually. We make better decisions with it.
All right, so I'm trying to figure out how to ask this. So you don't have to give any names, but are there certain securities that you really should have in your portfolio that will help to maximize the most that you can get from something like a margin loan?
Yes. Not any particular security, but stocks as a whole. Stocks have the best potential for returns. Because the price moves based on market interest, where that's two different directions. It is greater risk, but again, like I said, greater risk equals greater returns. So stocks would be the type of securities that you more than likely want to educate yourself about and invest into if you're looking to maximize on your returns.
And we have different types of brokerage accounts that can give you that kind of guidance as well. So you don't have to know everything yourself. We are the experts. So depending on what level of account you have with us, we will happily give you that kind of advice to help guide you.
Yes, for sure.
All right, so if you don't have any securities right now, you're not doing any of this stuff, but you're hearing this, you're like, well, I know I'm going to need to borrow money in the future. Is that the wrong reason to invest, or is that one of the better reasons to invest, that you won't have to deal with commercial banks or commercial loans or credit cards? What would you say?
And is there a minimum amount?
The minimum amount that you
added to that. Is there a minimum amount that someone that doesn't have it that wants to come in for the reasons he gave?
Okay, no, there's not necessarily a minimum amount, but there is a certain point where it doesn't make sense. But there's not a minimum amount in particular. So I would say that because again, there's a cost to do the business. So you don't want the cost to be just about what you borrowed. That wouldn't be ideal. So I mean, just starting at such a loss already. So you don't want it to be. I would say, at the very least, you want to have a portfolio of about $5,000 before you start looking at
5,000.
That would be the number that I would say. That I'm an advisor, and that's based off of my advice. The number is a range of where people can think different things. So just what do you think?
So should you invest solely because you now will have the avenue of taking out a margin loan as opposed to having to deal with credit cards or a commercial loan?
I would say you still can deal with credit cards. You still can get personal loans. It's not it's not to say that you cut those out specifically, but no, you shouldn't be investing to say I'm going to invest because I want to borrow. That shouldn't be the idea. But you should be saying I want to invest because so that if I'm in a situation where I need to borrow, or I want to borrow, or I want to, because like I said, you can use the opportunities to invest more. So you say, I'm going to invest now so that I can build a portfolio where if I decide to invest heavily, or I see an opportunity to invest heavily into something that I really believe in, I have the ability to go and do that. So yes and no.
Yes. Okay. All right, so I'm editing this question a bit. But anyway, so this is totally not what they meant. But if you have borrowed, if you have a margin loan, does that affect the dividends that you get from the securities?
It doesn't affect the dividends that you get directly. So you still get your dividends, but again, you are going to be paying interest on this loan. So again, that's how much you make compared to how much you're spending. So it can affect it in that way, but that's why you're investing in something that you feel is going to, you know, again, you don't, that'll normally be an issue when you take the funds and you invest. You don't think through properly what it is that you're using this money for. You're just using it because you have access to it. But if you're using it in a way that's more responsible and you understand what it is you're doing, it'll be less of a concern because you're already aware that this is my dividends. This is my payments on this. I have an idea of what this is going to do to me already.
We don't take your dividend payments from you just because you have a margin loan. So you still get to decide, okay, I want to put these dividends towards my loan.
It goes directly. It actually, so the way the account works, so it actually, you get credited cash right into your cash section, and the interest is charged right into your cash section. So that's why it offsets each other. So, but it doesn't. Again, you still get your dividends. It isn't taking that away from you.
All right, so we're hearing lots of pros, but cons. Have you seen it go terribly wrong? Like the stock just completely spiraled out of control. What do you do in a situation like that when the person has already borrowed?
Fortunately for myself, I haven't really experienced stock completely plummeting and it affected someone in that way. I'm sure it's happened though. It's been a lot of stocks that I've seen decline, but I haven't actually seen it happen personally. No, not from a stock declining. No, I haven't actually seen a person have one individual stock. It's plummeting, and then you know what? Maybe I did. I did actually. I saw it with maybe about 2 years ago. I did see where this person only had one security. They borrowed against it, and again, there wasn't a plan in place to no further investments done. Consume probably. I don't know. I can't say for sure. Maybe consumer spending. That's an assumption. If we're gonna go to a negative, possibly that's what it was. But the stock was declining, and that's where you get something called a margin call. So you're constantly getting a margin call, having to bring in funds, and if you can't bring in the funds, security is sold. But I'm going to turn this con into a pro.
Right.
This is the difference, though. You have a security that is collateralized that's collateralized as loan. So even when you're not able to, you still have your investment that can be liquidated to pay it off. Yeah.
And you'd recommend that to the investor?
No, depends. That's not a straightforward yes or no. Yeah, it's not. It can be. It might be which something you should do, because with advising, it's not one straight answer. It's very subjective. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're getting some interesting text messages. You can text us as well, 422-4796, or call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-425, toll free, 242-300-5720.
So I have a question. When you open the account, how long do you have to wait before you can get a marginal loan?
Right.
Yes.
You don't have to wait once you have the securities.
Okay.
So if you
it could be immediate.
It could be immediate. Yeah. Once you have the securities in your portfolio to support the margin loan, you can get one immediately. Yeah.
Do you recommend that?
Yeah, subjective.
The opportunity of a lifetime might come up.
Right. So
it's flexible. So it's really flexible.
Yeah. So what I suggested most times, if you're going to now go invest further, 100%. Yes,
right.
100%.
But not on that vacation.
Right.
Probably not. I might, I'd be like, where you going? Maybe live a little. Yeah, but no, just
trip to the moon.
But, maybe.
Right. All right, let's see what this caller has to say. Good morning, caller. Your morning blend business.
Well, good morning, Dwight, and to everybody in studio.
Hi.
Morning. You know what's really sad? We don't teach money in school. You're talking about margin calls, liquidation, having security or assets, cash, land, whatever to back the margin call should have come in. We don't teach money in school. We teach economy if you go to college. And those economists have us $10 billion in debt and don't know how to get us out of it. Why don't we teach this subject you're on right now, money, in high school?
We should.
So that our kids, I know you're going to agree with this, could come out and be some of the best global traders in stock and commodities such as, I don't know, digital currencies. You see Putin backing his CBDC by gold. That may get with the SWIFT network August 1st. We don't teach money in school because we want people to do what? See, my Ministry of Education has never sat down with you guys, and you would be the perfect people to bring in the room to set a part of the agenda to teach our kids to be the smartest in the world. We'd be out trading those kids in New York on the stock exchange.
Yeah.
In a new city, maybe Freeport. We make that a digital exchange.
Interesting views, Graham. Thank you very much.
Yeah, y'all have a good one. And
All right.
we're not going to teach money, so good luck, guys.
RF Bank and Trust, they do a lot of education, so this is great. They always are willing to come on and talk, so we appreciate them for that. And this is a great series. But what are your views on that? I mean, clearly we do need to do some more.
Yeah, no, I agree with him. It isn't something that was taught in school because when I started, I'm only 28 now, but I only started learning about this at around 21, maybe.
Wow.
So I crammed my brain with a lot of this information just recently. But I did realize, like, oh, this is something I really wish I did learn in school. And because of that, I started putting out my own. We have the internet nowadays, and I started putting out my own content. So I have a page called FinIQ by Q where I talk about investing money, not just investing. I talk about money as a whole. I talk about how you can. I've talked about how you can use debt to make money. Actually, I've talked about how during the pandemic you could have used opportunities at RF Bank. I wrote a whole blog before the pandemic actually affected our markets. I wrote a whole blog about how this is opportunity use. Equity fund that we have, international equity fund that you can invest into. So there are persons out there that are putting out information for people to, gather and take in, and not just kids, everybody.
Right. Yeah.
So everyone can get access to this information on the internet. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, great work that RF is doing.
Yeah, and RF, that's another thing. RF that bring me on here, and we do a lot of. Recently, we just posted something about stocks. I do a lot of media with RF to try and educate people. So you have local companies as well that are trying to educate people about money.
Hopefully the lawmakers are listening and understand that we need to start early with everybody. All right, so this is part 2. One more, Rachel. What can we expect in the third one?
So in our final segment, we'll be diving into exactly what the different brokerage accounts are. So what are the benefits? Obviously, we've been talking about margin loans, but there are other things that each brokerage account can bring. And based on your needs and where you are in your investment journey, we can help you identify what might be the best solution for you.
Okay. Nice. It's going to be
That's good.
That's going to be very helpful to a lot of people. And we're looking forward to that on Thursday. Thursday morning. Thank you both so much for being here.
No problem.
Great information. Quentin, you want to add something?
I just wanted to say, if anyone has any questions, you can always reach out to us at brokerage, BROKERAG, at rfgroup.com, or you can call us at 603-6000. Just ask to speak to someone in the brokerage department. You'll either be connected to myself, our assistant trader, Charmaine, or my manager, Belinda.
Okay. Wonderful stuff. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll talk again. Rachel Avanahar and Quentin Gibson. Great to have you in the studio with us. All right. We're going to take a break and be back. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Indulge in an experience that awakens your senses with Nescafe Gold. Premium Arabica coffee beans, carefully selected, roasted to perfection, and finely ground, resulting in a unique and unmatched flavor and aroma that captivates the senses. Enticing aroma, smooth taste. Elevate your coffee experience with Nescafe Gold.
You've tried everything. ASUS, with your mother's cousin's sister's auntie, and even hiding your money under your mattress. But is your money safe? Your Bahamian dollar deposit in a member bank or credit union is insured up to $50,000. If anything happens, your deposit up to the insured value will be returned to you thanks to Deposit Insurance. Visit Deposit Insurance Corporation at www.dic.bs.
Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
We're good for you. My business couldn't survive without my credit card machine from Fidelity. It's fast, convenient, and my clients love it. My sales increased, and I can track my earnings. Get your credit card machine from Fidelity today. Call 356-7764.
Are you ready to turn your passion for hospitality and tourism into a thriving career? Well, here's an opportunity just for you. Check out these new skill certificates at University of the Bahamas. You can choose from 3 concentrations: culinary, pre-culinary, and hospitality. You can complete this program within as little as 6 months, depending on the results of your placement exam. Get hands-on training in the highest industry standard and learn from world-class faculty. Apply today. Space is limited. Call the School of Tourism, Hospitality, Culinary Arts, and Leisure Management at 677-3201. Or come on in and find out more. The deadline to apply is August 4th. Don't miss out on this big step to start an exciting career.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It is time for your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL. The economy continues to expand at a healthy rate, according to Central Bank Governor John Roll, giving an update to the media on the country's economic state, explaining that tourism momentum was still brisk in the first half of 2023, while foreign investment inflows also contributed to growth. According to Roll, the general outlook for the economy is a positive one, though Russia's war with Ukraine, rising interest rates to counter inflation, and uncertain oil prices have the ability to move the needle in the wrong direction. As usual, the tourism sector continues to be the baseline revenue generator for the country. There's more on this story in today's Guardian Business section. More from Central Bank Governor John Roll. The Bahamas needs a boost in its hotel room inventory in order to generate real growth in tourism numbers. Roll revealing that the upswing in tourism numbers that occurred post-pandemic has begun to level off, though, and has dampened in the first half of the year compared to 2022. Roll explained that when it comes to tourism statistics, some indicators used to measure the success of tourism are up, while others are down or relatively flat. He explained that though the only thing hampering the country's ability to truly push past its banner year of 2019, especially in terms of stopover visitors, is the room complement in the country right now. You can, again, read more on that in today's Guardian Business section. And the Central Bank of the Bahamas is reviewing the administrative policies it has in place for the investment currency market, as well as the access it allows for overseas investment. Central Bank Governor Roll indicating that it will have the policy change discussion with the government before the end of the third quarter of the year, given that the demand for investment currency has increased. Roll says that there were $250 million worth of investment currency-related transactions last year. He said transactions are roughly keeping the same pace this year, though he expects that they could increase by year-end, given that they are already ahead of where they were in 2022. He explained that refinements are needed to the market framework in order to accommodate more retail investor access. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Monday. Your market movers, AML Foods Limited moving 2,000 shares, closing unchanged at $5. Bahamas Property Fund moving 1,000, up 63 cents to $6.93. CIBC First Caribbean Bank moving 1,000, up 15 cents to $13.30. Finco moving 1,000, up 15 cents to $12.30. Consolidated Water down 2 cents to $3.92. Emira Incorporated down 8 cents to $10.02. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,635.96, up 10.82. That's your Market Watch. And that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And we are back here with Morning Blunt Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean. All right, so there are a couple of stories that are catching my eye on business stories on the Associated Press this morning. And I think Bahamians will find these interesting. All right, so this one, the first generation of solar panels will wear out, according to a recycling industry. An expert is saying that, and a recycling industry is taking shape. So the story says that sunlight beats down on a graveyard for dead solar panels in Yuma, Arizona. Hundreds stacked in neat piles waiting for their next life. The great majority of worn and damaged panels are still dumped into landfills. Do you think that they would go bad? Did you think about
No,
that? Never thought about it ever one day. Well, with more and more piling up, many people know that needs to change. So apparently in Yuma, in Arizona, and then in other places like California and near Mexico as well, North America's first utility-scale solar panel recycling plant has opened to address what founders of We Recycle Solar call a tsunami of solar waste. Plans to address climate change rely on massively scaling up clean solar electricity. The panels, stacked and banded, come there from the company's main collection warehouse in New Jersey, plus 6 other locations across the U.S. Now, workers maneuver the stacks into a sprawling 75,000 square foot facility on forklifts, then gently lift each out by hand to begin separating by brand and model. Some only have a few cracks in their glass, but sometimes some are storm damaged. Now, some can be reused, and there is a market for those people who search for refurbished panels because of their affordability. Never thought about this.
No, I never ever thought that they. No, never. But it's good to know that they
Yeah.
can be recycled,
Right.
and that you can. There is a market now
Buy
for
refurbished solar panels.
You can
Well,
buy
look at
refurbished
that.
cell phones. So
Right?
that's
That's
really
true.
great
You can buy
that they
almost
can.
anything
Yeah.
refurbished.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting. I can understand storm damage, but I wonder where the other damage would come from. Yeah, it's very, very interesting.
I've seen some solar farms, sort of, where they were low to the ground, so I could see potentially
things hitting it and
an
breaking
accident
it
or something happening.
Okay.
So, boy, okay, well, that is very interesting.
It's a new industry.
Yeah.
Or
So what's happening with those here?
Right.
I'm sure
that's
some
a good
have been
one. Probably
damaged.
the landfill.
We just throw them away.
Yeah. So that's a great business opportunity.
Well, look at that. Boy. All right, so folks, are paying attention, taking notes.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is the other thing that has been scaring me more and more every week. I hear something else disturbing. So chatbots, I don't think anybody's too surprised by this one. So chatbots sometimes make things up. Yeah. And not everybody thinks AI's hallucination problem is fixable. Oh, boy.
Wow.
So, spend enough time with ChatGPT and other artificial intelligence chatbots, and it doesn't take long for them to spout falsehoods.
Oh.
Described as hallucinations, confabulation, or just plain making things up. It's now a problem for every business, organization, and high school student trying to get a generative AI system to compose documents and get work done. Some are using it on tasks with the potential for high-stakes consequences, from psychotherapy. What now? What? To researching and writing legal briefs.
And it's spewing out information.
My goodness.
That's just not correct.
Incorrect. According to the co-founder and president of Anthropic, maker of the chatbot Claude 2, Daniela Amode. Claude 2, that just doesn't sound right. She's saying, quote, I don't think that there's any model today that doesn't suffer from some hallucination.
Wow.
They're really just sort of designed to predict the next word. And so there will be some rate at which the model does that inaccurately. If this isn't a sign to stop and walk away from this madness.
Definitely.
Now, Anthropic and ChatGPT maker OpenAI and other major developers of AI systems known as large language models say they're working to make them more truthful. How long that will take and whether they will ever be good enough to safely dole out medical advice, who would want that, remains to be seen.
There are huge implications here.
Medical advice?
No.
No, psychotherapy is one thing, but
no.
Medical advice, I don't understand. So this is a text here. This is from a linguistics professor and director of the University of Washington's Computational Linguistics Laboratory, Emily Bender. She says, quote, this isn't fixable. Oh, boy. It's inherent in the mismatch between the technology and the proposed use cases. A lot is riding on the reliability of generative AI technology. The McKinsey Global Institute projects that it will add the equivalent of $2.6 trillion to $4.4 trillion to the global economy. In what? Lawsuits?
That is a ton of money.
Chatbots are only one part of that frenzy, which also includes technology that can generate new images, video, music, and computer code. Nearly all of the tools include some language component. Google is already pitching a new... What did I do? Google's already pitching a new news writing AI product to news organizations that stop this madness right now. What? For which accuracy is usually paramount, news writing AI. See, they don't want us to have jobs.
Right.
They were going to replace all of us with...
It's going to be difficult to replace those who have human intelligence, right?
Sure.
That's why I selectively said those who have human intelligence. It's going to be difficult to replace it. I mean, a computer can give you a guide, it can spit out information, but you still need that human component to soften that and make that a whole lot more accurate.
Now, this is really getting weird. Okay, the Associated Press is also exploring the use of the technology as part of a partnership with OpenAI, which is paying to use part of AP's text archive to improve its AI systems. All right, so this is the madness right there. So the media is partnering with the OpenAI and ChatGPT and all this nonsense to create better AI systems to replace them?
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, we're done. This is the only species that sabotaged itself to
Very
ruin
quickly
and
too.
destroy itself.
Correct.
Well, we deserve everything we get.
Very quickly.
We deserve it.
I mean, it was all the craze when it came out. Obviously, it cuts
Well,
a lot
you
of work out, but
you haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah.
It's just beginning.
Yeah.
It's just beginning. In partnership with India's Hotel Management Institute's computer scientist Ganesh Bagler says that he's been working for years to get AI systems, including ChatGPT precursors, to invent recipes for South Asian cuisines. To invent the recipes, such as novel versions of rice-based biryani.
Why?
A single hallucinated ingredient could be the difference between a tasty and inedible meal.
And a poison.
I was thinking poison as well. Okay.
That's a lot.
This is insane. Let's see what you have to say about it, folks. You excited by this madness, or this is you're like me, dreading
Yeah,
the
I'm
future.
dreading.
This is.
I'm not on the chat box.
No, this is not going to work.
AI bandwagon.
People just developing programs to replace them, unless they're going to work for us and help us to have 4 months vacation.
Yeah.
Like that's my AI,
Free us up, right.
with connected to
Your
my thoughts,
intelligence, right.
and so I don't need to be
Generating
there.
your
But I'm on the beach all year round, resting
And it's
while
accurate.
my thoughts are right.
Yeah.
Is that how it's going to be?
No.
Caller, what say you on this?
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Dwight, I didn't want to talk, but I tried to get hold of you earlier, but I couldn't get through when you was talking about the different type of food coming into the country. Let me ask you a question, Dwight. What color is chicken meat?
I know they say it's white meat, right?
Okay, so what color is chicken hot dog?
Oh dear. Now you know. Now you know that's some chicken in that.
Yeah.
That's all kinds of other
Bits
things.
and pieces
Right.
of all sorts of things.
It's because of all the dyed and nitrite inside of it. And another problem, too, do you realize I don't eat canned food at all. I stopped eating canned food about 12 years ago.
Wow.
Because of all the sodium in it. It's not even the natural sea salt. And so that's a danger, too. And when you cook nitrite, the hot dog, and the heat, it examine it more and make it more potent. And that's one of the main things that cause cancer. When you look at Gatorade, you got pink, yellow, green, all those different colors. You know that's FDC food coloring, and that's one of the problems that cause even cancer too.
Yeah.
We get all this coconut water here. People who want to hydrate use the coconut water or use cucumber and water. You don't want nothing better than that in this heat now. You know, you cut up like 24 slices. You put it in a mason jar with 16 ounce of water or 24 ounce of water. Put it in the fridge, let it get cold overnight, strain it, and you can drink that during the day. If you have one of those containers that keeps your water cold, that's what you can use.
Yeah, absolutely. Great advice there. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hope people are listening. Somebody sent me an article. AI model gains thousands of followers despite not being real. Look at her pictures. Pictures of her.
Oh, wow.
Wonderful body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, of course, because she's not real. She doesn't.
Correct.
She doesn't eat.
Correct.
Oh boy.
She's cute.
Never had a pimple one day in her life. So
No stretch
No, right?
marks,
No, not a problem.
No blemishes.
There you go.
No thinning hair. It's perfect.
Probably never been sick.
Yeah.
Well, definitely not. Well, we are, I guess, retired. We're tired of ruining the planet. Right? We've done making the place hotter than it needed to be, and we've decided that our sell-by date has come.
Yeah.
So, but hey, man. Yeah. It's been a nice run for the human race.
I'm not leaving. I'm not.
You're not
I'm not that way.
Well, the AIs are going to have a say.
But no.
The AI is going to determine what you do.
Oh, well.
So, which we created. This is insane. I mean, well, maybe when the Dwight AI Strachan comes, will you know it's me?
Oh, I'm sure I will.
I'm gonna start using some special codes. So
I'm
you know,
sure you.
That's
I'm
human
sure I
play
will. I'm sure I
versus-
will.
Yeah, you sure?
There's no way that a replica could be the original. No way. It
Some
says
already saying,
replica.
I think he's a robot. So don't worry about that. This one says, Dwight, they all said the same thing about Google. Name one professional journalist that doesn't use it today. I don't remember anybody saying that. Who said
Google
that about
lies?
Google? Well, you mean Google? That which part? The inaccurate, or that Google is going to destroy what? Encyclopedia? What did they say about Google?
I don't remember it about being dishonest or giving information that was inaccurate.
They're going to be, of course, it'll lead you to some articles
Yeah.
and some sites that are foolish, of course. So you have to know what's what. Right. You have to have some common sense there. But did they say that? I mean, the search engines were going to ruin the world. I don't recall that ever being said. But anyway, this text, humans are headed for a never-ending cliff. I think we're already falling down that one. We haven't hit the worst part of it yet, though. But we'll keep you posted on how we're doing here. But anyway, DeQuesta, always a pleasure.
Always a
Thank you
pleasure,
so
Dwight.
much.
So happy to be here.
I'll see you next week.
Yeah, I'll be here.
And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day. Stay tuned. The real Dwight Strachan, yeah. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.